I am putting together my Omega 8004 juicer. I've had it for about a week and I love it. It's the same as the Omega 8006 model, except it's plain white instead of flashy black and chrome. I don't mind. I keep mine under the countertop so no one ever sees it anyway. Saved me about $40 to go with the white model. I have been into raw foods and juicing and smoothies and dehydrated foods for about 4 years now. And I prefer to juice greens. Broccoli, sprouts, spinach, lemon, and celery is what I'm using today. The lemon and the celery help to mask the flavors of more bitter fruits without adding sugar. I'm not a fan of juices that include a lot of sugar. So I'm just going to run the sprouts through first. I think I dropped the lemon in before I started with that. And I'm going to use the narrow end. The stopper in the center is equal distance from either side, so it's appropriate to use whichever end works best. In this case, the narrow end works with the stems and wide leaves of greens. So I mentioned I've been into juicing and smoothies for the last 4 years, but I've only owned the Omega for about a week at the time of filming this. I typically make juices by blending the ingredients in the Blendtec with a little bit of water and then straining them through a nut milk bag. That was how I made juices, and I know it's hotly debated whether the nutrient content is compromised by using high-speed blades versus a masticating mill like the one you see here. It does taste different. I'm not sure how to describe the difference in the taste between using the Blendtecs in the nut milk bag and using the masticating juicer, but it's definitely more vibrant of a flavor when you use a masticating juicer. I also own a Jack LaLanne juicer. I am not a fan. I've owned it for about 4 years. I've used it about 6 times. I found it very annoying to clean. It took a long time to clean, and it only seemed to work well with high water containing foods, like fruits or maybe tomatoes or cucumbers. It did not work well for grains. In fact, I think most upright juicers, even the Omega Vert, are designed to work better with high water containing fruits and vegetables, like fruits and tomatoes and celery and cucumbers. And I use those things to augment my juice, and predominantly it's just the leaves. So this is not a good way to run the pulp back through the juicer that I'm going to show you right now. This is a very slow way to run the pulp back through the juicer. I do run my pulp back through 3 or 4 times each time I juice any greens because more continues to come out. That was very problematic in the upright Jack LaLanne juicer that I used. It did not like using the it did not like having the pulp rejuiced. Not much came out, and it seems to just clog the filter and screen. So this is a very slow way to do it. I'll show you in a second a faster way to get the pulp back into the tube for rejuicing. So I mentioned I don't like to juice fruits very often. I don't feel optimal. Usually with raw foods and juicing and smoothing, I'm chasing this feeling of glowing optimal health. And juicing fruits makes me personally feel suboptimal. I also read an article that I can't remember the name of, but I do remember a YouTube video that was along the same lines called Sugar, the Bitter Truth, where a professor of pediatrics talks about the dangers of consuming fructose without fiber. And in fact, he thinks that's the reason that we're seeing the obesity epidemic in our country that we are today. And it was pretty compelling. He actually used some chemistry redox equations to show the metabolization of fructose and the metabolization of alcohol and how they're identical. So essentially, fructose is a poison. Sorry, my hubby was calling, so you won't be able to hear the juicer, but you already have a pretty good idea of what it sounds like. So now I'm going to speed this up a little bit and put the pulp back through one more time, and I'm having a hard time getting it to cling to itself because it's drying out so much, and that's a good sign. I can occasionally get a little stream of juice coming out of the juicer, which usually prompts me to send it through again, but I'll just let it go this time. So that is our juice. There's some fiber left in the screen. That screen is very good at keeping the foam out. A personal pet peeve of mine is foamy juice. I don't like foamy juice. But with the Omega 8004, you don't have a lot of foam. And sometimes with the Vert models, you do get a lot of foam. So again, the Choice and Blender, this one's slower to process, but it doesn't make a lot of foam, and it's excellent for juicing greens, and it's good at rejuicing the pulp. So you can see how little pulp I have left, considering I started with that big bowl in the background, the big stainless steel bowl in the background. Yeah, that one. Thanks for watching. Bye.